So you've made the big decision. You're relocating to the Phoenix metro area, but you don't know where to start. I get that. I made that same decision myself. Look, in this video, we're going to give you step-by-step on what you need to do to prepare before the move, on what you're going to be doing on a relocation to the Phoenix area, coming at you right after this. Hello, this is Sheryl Willis over at the Real Agent Now group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And if this is the first time to our channel, you're going to want to tap that little subscribe button and click that little bell so that you are notified each and every time we release a new video. We are getting dozens of calls every single day, and we love it. Look, if you're thinking about moving to the Phoenix area and you're going to relocate your office or your company, look, there's so many things to factor in, like where are the talent pools? What is the traffic flow? What about housing or affordability? What about livability? There are a lot of questions that need to be answered. So you know what? You need to pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, days, nights, or weekends. We got your back when moving and relocating to the Phoenix area. All right, so you have made the decision to relocate here and you're bringing your company, maybe your office is expanding, or relocating here to the greater Phoenix area. I cannot tell you how many times I have received phone calls just recently with people that have decided they were moving to the Phoenix area for various reasons. Look, there's one company that was located in Detroit, Michigan in the automotive industry, and they were having a problem trying to get full-time employees to come into the office in Detroit. So they decided to move to a more favorable part of the United States, somewhere where it was still very active and easy to find great talent, outdoor living, and just again, a better lifestyle for their employees. And they picked Arizona. Now, they're tending to go towards Scottsdale, but is that really the best place? So one of the things that I will help you or your employer do is kind of figure out from a employment talent perspective where it might be most strategic for you to open your office. So when you are thinking about wanting to draw the right employees and you still want to have freeway proximity, the employees that are going to be working at your office, you want to make sure that they have great schools available for their family, medical care, how about different types of parks and activities, again, for the families. You want to make it affordable as well. So what part of town would make the most sense? We can help answer those questions for you, and I'll bet it ties in directly with what's important to you. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know, and you just gotta throw some questions out to someone that knows the valley, understands the growth, understands residential real estate. I don't do commercial, but I can definitely talk about where the different talent pools and where different parts of the valley you are going to have more success. Again, from accessibility, livability. And again, it is about your employees, right? So you want to be in an area where it makes everyone happy and happier to come to work for your company. Happy employees and happy life. Oh wait, that's happy wife, happy life. But again, all kind of comes together, right? So let me tell you, if you're thinking about moving your company out to the greater Phoenix area, give us a call. I mean, again, I'm not commercial, but I am telling you, there is a direct correlation with happy employees and putting them in the right part of town. There are definitely some companies that work much better in the Scottsdale area or might need a Scottsdale address. But does that mean that your employees can afford in Scottsdale? No. So again, that's why we want to be strategic about where you might put your office. And again, that ties into where you might look for homes. One of the best little tips and tricks I have is I use MapQuest. I think that was something that people used many, many moons ago before we all had GPS and Google on our phones. But I love that app or that map. If you are looking in especially new construction, I think a lot of people are not understanding how far of a commute it may be from certain areas in new construction to the more urban areas, more developed areas where employment are. And so according to a map, when you're looking at it, it looks like 20, 30-minute drive. It might be a lot longer. Now, the greater Phoenix area actually is rated the 5th largest city in America, but we're not even in the top 20 or 30 as being terrible traffic. Does that mean we don't have traffic? No, we have traffic. And when you live here, you will learn which direction to stay off of certain roads at certain times. Now, one of the great things about the greater Phoenix area is our freeway system is on this massive loop system. It is just constantly going in little circles or bigger circles. And off the freeway system, we also are on a north-south, east-west grid. So if you don't have to go too far, you can just take surface streets. Let me tell you, the other day, and again, it depends on the time of day that you are out and about. The other day I was out and about, it was probably around 5:30, and I was a good distance from where I live. And so it actually said to take 8 miles of surface streets as opposed to the freeway. That just goes to tell you there's options here. And I love that. If you're like from the Seattle area or Los Angeles, literally you are confined to like the 405 or the 1 or whatever you live at. You got one main freeway, even in San Francisco, 280. If you live in or work in San Francisco and live in San Jose or vice versa, you basically have 1 or 2 choices and you are stuck in massive traffic. The great thing about the greater Phoenix area is you always have choices. And again, I would highly recommend you stay off of Interstate 10. That is not fun any time of day in the downtown area. And fortunately, we do have freeways that go around that. Here's the other thing. When you're moving out here, if you have young children that are in school, we have great schools literally all across Phoenix metropolitan area. My favorite website to go to is greatschools.org. And with our amazing governor that just approved the nation's largest voucher, I don't know what the right terminology is, each student receives a $7,000 credit. Student credit voucher, that's what it is. And now in Arizona, the parents get to dictate where that money goes. So if you want to use the public school system, you can, or if you want to use private or charter or Montessori or even homeschooled students, that money can be sent back to the home if that's where the student is going to school. So there's a lot of great opportunities for school-age children now. If that's also a pain point for you from wherever you're coming from, there are massive choices here. And again, that's greatschools.org. But one of the things that I love is that in the fantastic school districts like Chandler Unified and Kyrene School District, top-rated schools, as long as you live in the school district, there is inter-district transfer or open enrollment. It's first come, first serve. And when the school gets full, it's limited to only the students that live in the boundary. Now, here's the challenge. There are a lot of children that need some extracurricular activities, or should I say different programs. It's called the IEP. And for some reason, if your student is in an IEP program, you have to go to the school in the boundary in which you live. So our recommendation is before you decide to relocate or move out here, if this is something that's important to you, you look into that before you start looking at the houses online. I'm telling you, this is the number one biggest error, mistake. You don't shop for houses first. You set your criteria. First would be lifestyle. So you're talking about what makes you happy, what makes you healthy, and then what gets you to the places you need to be. So we're talking about schools are important. We also want to talk about healthcare, if that's important to you. We have fantastic healthcare. Not everywhere, though. We have fantastic freeway systems. And here's another thing. If you're of Medicare age, we have the secondary insurance that you can get out here. We recently had a client that moved here from Colorado that moved out here for medical reasons. We have a low elevation and we have extremely dry heat. So there's a lot of dry humidity. So there's a lot of people that move to Arizona for medical reasons. But one of the things that no one really considered, because they didn't offer this secondary plan to Medicare where they came from, they were putting out literally thousands of dollars. That 20% from Medicare still can add up. As soon as they moved out here, they got a secondary military plan, and they now have zero out-of-pocket expenses. The wife was dancing like you couldn't believe. So that's another thing to think about when you're moving to Phoenix, is about the medical care. We have great dental care and lots of dermatologists. Not kidding. So that's also something you really want to think about. Again, if you're special needs, whether it's from an educational perspective or health. Also, as far as driving, a lot of people right now, they gravitate towards the beautiful homes, the beautiful new homes. Got to have 10-foot ceilings, got to have whatever, this size of a lot or whatever. Don't forget the newer homes, again, are on the outskirts of town. Right now, while we're dealing with this horrible gas inflation, you're now going to be spending more money on gas. You're going to be spending more money on utilities overall. And I realize this is everywhere in the country, but you want to think about this. You want to be as inflation proof as possible when you are starting a new fresh start. So take all of this into consideration. We'd love to have a conversation with you. As you can see, we have a plethora of information, and things are so unique to living in Arizona. That's another thing. People come here and they say, I want big trees and grassy areas. After you live for a little while, you'll go, I appreciate the desert. All right, guys, we want to hear from you. I want to hear all your questions. I want to help you get from where you're at to where you want to be, but we can't help you until you pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, or weekends, we got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye.